that distinguishes slavery in Africa from Atlantic slavery is race. Europeans set in motion a system of slavery that was predicated on the idea that certain people were marked as enslavable.
We've learned a great deal about the Middle Passage in the last 40 years or so. The volume of the trade involved the removal of about 12.5 million people from the African continent.
The Middle Passage was the middle leg of a voyage that starts in Europe. The first passage is from Europe to Africa. The Middle Passage is the journey from Africa to America, and then the third passage is the journey back from America to Europe.
The Middle Passage could take anywhere from 2 to 3 months. Men and women were separated. Men typically were held in the lower belly of the ship. The roof, if you would, was quite low, probably about 4 feet high. So people couldn't stand. African men were shackled together, and they were packed so closely together in a spoon-like position. And they would stay like that for pretty much the entire journey.
You're talking about hundreds of people. You're at 120 degrees. It smells terrible. There are actually people dying around you, which has to be a traumatic experience for everybody on board.
Maybe 10% of voyages, we know there was some attempt to rise up, to kill the crew, to try to turn the boat around, to change their destinies. Historians have a hard time capturing what the Middle Passage must have felt like for enslaved men and women. It's a voyage that is deeply disorienting. It's a voyage to a place that you can't anticipate. You don't know what's going to happen to you. I don't think we have adequate words to capture that experience.
I know this ain't home, but it's where you gotta be.
Is on his way to South Africa. The president left Senegal this morning after one final stop at a food bank. In South Africa, he will visit the island where Nelson Mandela spent most of his 27 years in prison. Yesterday, the president toured another island where slaves were sent to the New World hundreds of years ago. But Major Garrett reports that site may not be as important as advertised.
3 American presidents have ferried to Goree Island off the coast of Dakar, drawn to the crouching and cannon-topped castle on its southern tip, and around the castle into its placid harbor, a gateway to the horrors of the African slave trade. The destination, the House of Slaves. Senegalese curators contend millions of slaves passed through here en route to Caribbean islands and America. Slave historians say the number, however, is more likely in the low thousands, and that Goree Island is a scam masquerading as history. Historians argue the slave house was too small to handle millions of slaves, and most would have died after being packed, as the legend goes, up to 20 at a time in cramped holding cells. Even so, the draw of Goree Island slave house is relentless and culminates in the stone corridor leading to the door of no return. President Obama made the trek, inviting First Lady Michelle Obama, a descendant of slaves, and daughter Malia to inspect the view. Later, they examined the holding cells and courtyard.
Obviously, for an African-American president, to be able to visit this site, I think gives me even greater motivation in terms of the defense of human rights around the world.
Mr. Obama followed in the footsteps of Presidents George W. Bush and Bill Clinton. Nelson Mandela and Pope John Paul II have also made the pilgrimage, defying the skeptics and cementing Goree Island's status as possibly the most powerful and least legitimate symbol of slavery's barbarism. For CBS This Morning, Major Garrett, Dakar, Senegal.
his family. It's so interesting that now he's heading to South Africa at a time where it appears Nelson Mandela is slipping away. The timing of that is so ironic to me.
We'll see the president today. I believe he is visiting Robben Island, where Nelson Mandela spent 18 of the 27 years he was in prison. To see that very small cell that Nelson Mandela spent so much time in is really, I think, going to be quite a sight.
It is.
For the
I've
president.
been in that cell many years ago, and it is. You get chills standing there thinking how he must have lived and what he must have been
And
thinking.
how can you survive that long?
I don't know, Nora. It's an amazing story.
We are very privileged to be with you, particularly our brothers and sisters from the Caribbean and the diaspora. And people from all over Africa, our brothers and sisters from all over Africa. I wish at this point to particularly to apologize deeply on behalf of the chiefs and people of Gold Coast and Ghana for the atrocities, the cruelty, the inhuman treatment that were committed 400 years ago by my ancestors during the Atlantic slave trade, where over 400 years ago, millions of our brothers and sisters were captured, sold, and transported under inhumane and cruel circumstances through Elmina Castle across to the Caribbean and to the New World. On behalf of the chiefs and people of Ghana, I do render unqualified apology, deep from the bottom of our hearts. Deep from our bottom of our hearts. But one thing that I want you to be aware of, it was not without resistance. Some of our chiefs did fought and resisted. Some of our people did fought and resisted. But we are fighting a losing battle against a stronger army. People with guns, and we had no guns. They deceived us with liquor and all other temptations. Whatever the circumstances that led us to us, we stand here to render apology. And it's my wish and prayer that this apology is accepted. It's accepted deep by our brothers and sisters from the diaspora. To overcome that evil, that never again should we witness this cruelty, this inhuman cruelty of man to man in this country. I thank you, and once again, on behalf of the chiefs and people of Ghana, we do render this apology. And I ask my colleague to add a few words to what I have said to you. And it's my wish and we do accept our apology. Thank you very much.
We stand here once again symbolically at the gate of no return. We stand here as husband and wife. We stand here as the African male and as the African woman, the African family, the African community, the representatives of an African nation in a diaspora. We have come to say that we've heard your words. We have discerned through our experience and through our journey that what the devil meant for evil, God meant for good. Through all our trials, through all our tribulations, God has a plan. That plan involves us standing together.
Greetings to all of those that are listening to this broadcast. I come in the spirit of my ancestors, those who died in the Middle Passage. As we look upon the 400-year anniversary of slavery in America, as we look upon Black History Month, as we look upon Jubilee 2019, we are here at Goree Island in Senegal. And behind me, that opening area is the final exit. That over 20 million slaves was housed here at the House of Slaves on Goree Island that came through. Over 6 million died here through the exodus from the continent of Africa and brought to the hellholes of North America and the Caribbean islands. I come today because this is marked this year, Jubilee 2019, marked the 400-year anniversary. President Trump signed the legislation, signed the bill, H.R. 1242, to commemorate for 2019 a year-long acknowledgement and celebration throughout America. But also on the continent, you have Ghana, you got Senegal, you got Nigeria, you got Kenya. All of those continents or countries that played a role in supplying us, our forefathers, foremothers as slaves in America, have apologized for this deadly atrocity that has happened to us as a people. I'm coming to you today because I'm standing in the gap for those that are near to me and far. I'm coming to you, I'm standing on the shoulders of all the sheroes and heroes that laid their life down on the line so that we can have freedom, justice, and equality. I come to you today in a very moving situation. I walk through this house of slaves and I can feel the dry bones crying out. I can feel the screaming and the crying and the moaning and the groaning. I can feel the horrible experience, the rape of our children, the rape of our women, the rape of our men. I can feel that pain, that whipping, sitting here and walking through this house of slaves here in Goree Island in Dakar, Senegal. I just want to say to you, brothers and sisters, it is time that we stand up and do something for ourselves, that now we are totally free. And as we mark and we celebrate this 400-year anniversary of the most inhumane experience that can happen to a people. Yes, I love my Jewish brethren, but we too paid a hell of a cost. And it's time that we do something for ourselves and never, never again allow such a thing to happen to us or to anyone that's a part of the human family. So I come to you and I share this love, but I want to get some more of what I'm feeling, because you want to say something? Go ahead.
I wanted to say to those of you who are possibly watching this video via live or YouTube or wherever you're watching it, listen, we need to teach our children their history, because unfortunately our babies do not know the price that was paid for them to live and do and have their being. Just walking the land, just being out in Senegal and seeing the young people, they just free-spirited, but they're hungry, they eat food. I mean, it's just unbelievable that we in America, we take for granted just the simple things of having a bowl of cereal. So I want us to teach our children the history. I want you say they don't teach it in our schools anymore, then go to the history books, go to the library, and pull out the information so that our children can appreciate what our forefathers and our ancestors have had to sacrifice for us to be and do what we are doing in America today. So we love you all. We are going to be praying here. We have been praying. We are continuing to pray that the revelation will ignite us as a people and unite us, that we might come together and understand and teach our babies, teach our young people, teach what we call the new millennials. They need to know their history and how they are able to move and have their being, not only just through the power of God, but also those who have died and gone on before them and us, so that we can have our freedom, our liberty, and our equality. So we love you from the Avraham. I'm sure we will be back. Y'all be blessed.
But I don't want to just teach some of the young. A lot of our old need to learn the truth and accept the truth of who we are. They ain't never too old to learn. And so I say this to all of us. It's time for us to return to the ways of our forefathers. It's time for us to govern our lives according to the commandments and instructions and precepts governed by the Most High. The Most High is looking upon us. We just saw the blood moon. We're seeing the veil of God lifting on humanity today. And now it's time for us to stand up and do something for ourselves and release ourselves from that ways and thinking of our oppressor. And it's time for you to return to who you are and what you are. May God bless each and every one of you.
Years.
Say it again?
20 million slaves. 6 million died with a bad condition. No medicine, no pharmacy. You buy as a man, one guns. One guns, one barrel wine. One children, one mirror, one necklace.
So 60 million.
Yeah, 6 million died.
60 million died.
6 million.
6 million. 6 million died, but
Yes.
20 million
20 million passed through.
For 300 years.
Over the past 300